Welcome to Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. I'm Steve Swatt with the Sacramento Report. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about opportunities voters will have in November to place a budget rainy day fund in the state constitution. My guest this segment is Katcho Achadjian, a member of the State Assembly from San Luis Obispo. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And I know you were one of the co-authors of the so-called Rainy Day Fund legislation, which is designed to reduce some of the volatility in our budgeting and to capture excess funds and revenue when times are good, and then use them sparingly when times are not so good.
Very true, and something I work on it very hard from first I arrived to Sacramento. My experience, having been a county supervisor for 12 years, when I left in 2010, we had over $80 million in reserves, or we can call it rainy day funds. And the beauty of it, when times were bad, we didn't suffer as much as the state did. So having started with $26 billion deficit, and of course today we have a balanced budget, and what we mean by that we're not spending more than we're taking in. It's a good time, even though during Schwarzenegger's time there was a rainy day fund started, but it was never put to work. So we work hard to bring it back, and bring it back with a little more enforceable ideas to go with it, rather than the flexibility it had prior to that. When we call it rainy day fund, doesn't mean that if it say it's the forecast is to rain, we start spending the money, or if it's cloudy, we're spending. No, the rainy day fund means that you don't spend until it's raining. And my experience, every time you look at the past, if it's drought or the economy, every time we face with a new one, it's worse than the time before. So thanks to the governor's efforts, Speaker Perez's efforts, and our leader, Connie Conway, all three came together, and with our help as co-authors, and make it what it is. It's an excellent program to have place. I think with the discipline we have today as how to spend the money and how to be careful not to waste it, it's going to serve us a great deal.
The mandate is 1.5%.
1.5% of the general fund.
Of the general fund. I know years ago, I remember going back to when George Deukmejian was governor, he insisted on a 3% rainy day fund, or a reserve for economic uncertainties, because our situation is so volatile in California. We're dependent on stock prices going up or down, and things like that. And so is 1.5% enough to put away?
You can always improve it. If we had gone about 1.5%, might have caused us some cash flow problems. Because of that, we sell to 1.5%. But 1.5% for the next 30 years, not all of it will go into a rainy day fund. What's the beauty about it, that 50% of it will go towards lowering our debt. Right. If you look at our debt today, it costs us over $20 million a day in interest, $20.4 million. So just think that we'll be able to reduce the debt by $11 billion, which saves us a lot of money, interest money per day. And with that commitment, hopefully within the next 15 years or so, we'll be out of debt. And after that, the entire money, 100% of 1.5%, goes to the rainy day fund. But that's not all. If the capital gains and additional taxes that come in, that's over 8% of the general fund, that money also goes into a rainy day fund. So total, it might give us 3% if the times are good, or if the times stay good. And you're right, we need it in place, because just because it is good today doesn't mean it's always going to be it is what it is. For as many years as I've been involved with the government activities, we've seen it go up and down so volatile that we have to take measures not to go through the sacrifices we did for the last 3 years or so.
All right. Well, I should also add in closing that Moody's Investor Services likes what California legislature did, and they've praised the legislature for their action, and they don't always do that. Katcho Achadjian, thank you very much for being with us. We appreciate it. Thanks to our viewers also for watching Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. A reminder, you can see this and other interviews on YouTube, also on My Government on Demand.